Soludo of APGA, having satisfied the requirements of the law, is hereby declared the winner and is returned elected. Wow. This is dated today, 10th November 2021, and it's time.
Well, there you have it, the announcement made by the INEC officials yesterday. The much anticipated, much debated and clearly drawn out elections out there in Anambra State. Well, there you have it. Professor Charles Soludo of the All Progressive Grand Alliance, APGA, they call it here in Nigeria, has won the Anambra Governorship election, polling a total of 112,229 votes. Now, INEC's Chief Returning Officer for the poll, Professor Florence Obi, who you just saw there, made the announcement earlier this morning that APGA scored the most votes in the supplementary election that held yesterday after voting was extended to allowing voting take place in Ihiala local government area of the state, which was the only local government left after Saturday's election.
And Charles Soludo secured over 112,000 votes, which is twice more than his closest rival, PDP's Ozigbo, to be returned as the winner of the election. Now, Valentine Ozigbo had over 53,000 votes, while the other two frontline contenders, that's Andy Oba of the APC and Ifeanyi Oba of the YPP, scored for over 43,000 and over 21,000 votes respectively. We have joining us this morning the National Publicity Secretary of the All Progressive Grand Alliance, that's APGA, in the person of Barrister Tex Okechukwu. But before we bring in Barrister Tex Okechukwu, we know that this election has been an election that has been trending, and a lot of people have been talking about it from the 21 local government election that happened over the weekend. That was on Saturday. We know that 20 of the local government took part in the election. One of the local government, which was Ihiala local government, could not take part in that election on Saturday. But right now we have a guest who is joining us. His name is Joseph. He will be talking about the election that took place in Anambra yesterday and that of Saturday. Many thanks for joining us, journalist Joseph Ago. I know you are here and you have been monitoring the whole election process since when it happened. Now we've seen the outcome of this exercise. Quickly tell us your observation from the supplementary polls yesterday and the final outcome of the election.
Well, yesterday, it looks like we were fighting a war at Ihiala because the military presence and the security presence from the DSS to civil defense, the police, and also the military himself. We also have an issue yesterday at Ihiala local government secretariat, where the chairman, Victor Ume of APGA, tried to come into the secretariat, and the military people that were there have to stop him from going there. For the very first time, the presence of the military and the civil defense were very, very tough yesterday at Ihiala. But so far, I would say the election, everything went peacefully because INEC told us that the election will start by 10 o'clock, but that was not so because I was there on ground, and they started moving out the electoral material from 11:15 and some area like Oli, where I monitor Oli, I monitor Mbosi, where one of the deputy speaker is from. Also, some of these places, election started very, very late. Like Oli now, election started there because I followed the electoral staff to the polling unit. Election there started by 12. And when I left there, the turnout also was not that impressive, although we also have the security people who were there that tried to at least keep peace in that environment. And also, one thing I also noticed, youth at the area didn't come out to vote. Most youth, like for Oli local government, it was only elderly men and women who came out to cast their votes yesterday at Oli. Maybe at the time I was there, maybe when I left, maybe the youth turned up. And also, when I went to Mbosi, That's where the Deputy Speaker of the House, the current Deputy Speaker of the House, State House of Assembly of Anambra State comes from. I also observed how the election went there. And what I also noticed around there was that they took all the whole polling unit that's supposed to be in Mbosi to one place. And that place was St. Austin College. That's where all the election that's supposed to happen at Mbosi happened. Because I have to talk, I went to other polling units that's supposed to be at Mbosi there. All of them were down. So when I went to that school, I found out that all the whole polling that's supposed to be at Mbosi was in that primary college, sorry. All right,
Joseph, we've seen the announcement made by the returning officer, Florence Obi, Professor Florence Obi of INEC. Now, Charles Soludo, the announcement has been made. What is the mood like in Anambra now since that announcement was made? Was it a case of, well, it was obvious, we saw it coming, no surprise, or perhaps jubilation, or perhaps disappointment?
No, there is jubilation. There's jubilation, actually. Even on social media, there's jubilations and all that, and even some people have started making songs for Soludo. But today, everywhere people are sitting at home today because I overheard them saying Nnamdi have to go to court today. So everyone is at home, nobody's out. So you can't really see the excitement from people because people are at home. But there's one saying that you hear everyone, the little man on the streets, the traders who are not even politicians, they always say, any person that has Oba in their name can never rule Anambra State, that they prefer another person to rule Anambra State than any person that has Oba. I don't know what the Oba family did to the Anambra. Maybe the APGA spokesperson may tell us what the Oba family did to Anambra, because that's what has been ringing around, even at the election area. Some of them were saying, anybody.
All right, Joseph. I mean, we also have the National Publicity Secretary of the All Progressive Grand Alliance. We have him on the phone right now. That's Barrister Tex Okechukwu. Barrister Tex, many thanks for joining us once again. But let's start by saying big congratulations to your party and indeed the entire Anambra people. What does this victory mean for APGA?
Well, thank you for bringing me to your studio, and I want to tell you that the victory of APGA is a victory of the Anambra, because the Anambra is APGA and APGA is Anambra. And in fact, the Anambra people spoke and it manifested.
Barrister Tex, congratulations once again. Now, we recall that you had said your party will come out victorious in the election, and you did with a wide margin. You know, I want to look at that graphics again. You know, the difference between the four candidates, the numbers out there, 112, 22, 9 for Charles Soludo. That's over, 50% compared to what Andy Uba had, Valentine Ozigbo, and, Ifeanyi Uba with just 21,000 plus. How did you do it? How did your party do it? And why did Anambrarians choose APGA over the other men and parties?
You see, the records are clear. All the candidates are, they are good in their own area. But you see, there's a distinguished candidate, and that person is Professor Charles Soludo. In his antecedents and records, you see that he has done very well in all areas of his life, starting from youth till date. So, and there's only a blind man that will go and vote contrary to, and those that voted outside APGA, I don't know how and why they did that. Every good and reasonable Anambrarian should have voted for Soludo. And that is why he's a person that can change improve on the records of the previous preceding APGA government. So, and you know that if you see his antecedents, his involvement internationally, locally and otherwise, He brought out his manifesto, a contract he has with Anambra, and he assured them 5-point programs. And he intends to improve on the legacies of the preceding government, and wants to inculcate and integrate all and sundry. So the Anambra State will be a haven for investors and employment galore. That is the arrangement.
All right, Barrister, I don't know if we still have journalist Joseph also there with us. But Joseph, let me come to you now at this point in time. Looking at the Ihiala local government election that happened just yesterday, I mean, a lot of the voters came out and they were complaining about the BVAS, which is a BVAS, the Bimodal Voters Authentication System. Can you tell us how that went yesterday at Ihiala local government election?
All right, for the area I covered, that was Okija, Oli, and Mbosi. Everything was going well, and it seems like INEC improved on the biomodal device, because on Saturday it was taking long, maybe like 20 to 30 minutes to capture maybe one person, sometimes 15 minutes. But this time around, it was taking just a minute to capture for the areas that I covered.
All right, so we have seen the elections in Anambra, even if extended to Ihiala the other day, come and gone. Charles Soludo has been declared the winner. Now, back to you, Barrister Tex Okechukwu. Barrister, your candidates are now elected Governor-elect Charles Soludo will be sworn in on March next year, 2022. What can Anambra people expect from him as a governor?
The best so far, because he gave out, like I told you earlier, he brought out his contract agreement with Anambra in his manifesto. There's a document that you can now upload in your system, because it is everywhere. He has laid down what he's going to do, how he's going to do them, and they are all clear for everybody to view. You see, and that was why we are all dogged to make sure that he wins this election. We did all we could. I personally, because I know that if any other candidate would have won that, I mean, any other party would have won that, that would have been a disaster for Anambra. You see, and the man, Soludo, has on one-on-one told us his desire is not to come and enrich himself, but to render service. Sometimes your heart bleeds when you see certain things going wrong. And if you're incapacitated to act and you don't have the opportunity, you'll be worried. So his worry is to improve on the legacies of the P2B and Dr. Chief Ulojano. And that was why all of us, like my humble self, I followed my election at the Onitsha North local government up to the Oka. Yes, where I took the top to Oka. And again, we followed it. There was this National Assembly person who came and tried to manipulate results. We apprehended him and the cohort.
All right. Thank you so much, the National Publicity Secretary of the All Progressive Grand Alliance, Barrister Tex Okechukwu, and journalist Joseph Egu for coming on the program this morning. Thank you once again, and a big congratulations to you and your party.